Well, good morning. This is my first attempt at doing a video, and I want to show a sky using a hake brush. I've got rough paper, it's a lantern, and it's an A3, and already I've put in the horizon line about a third of the way up. Now, the first layer that I'm going to do is in raw sienna. This is just a very watery wash of raw sienna, and all as this is going to do is give us the damp paper to work on top of with a hake and the other colours. The other colours I'll be using are ultramarine blue, and for the clouds I shall be using Payne's grey and alizarin crimson. So the first thing we need to do is to wet the paper, but instead of having stark white for the clouds, we're using a pale wash of raw sienna that will give the clouds a nice creamy look on any clouds that are left white. So now we're going to have to work fairly fast on top of this. We have about 2 minutes to get a sky in so that we can work wet on wet. That way everything will diffuse in and give us nice soft edges in the clouds. So next colour on now is ultramarine. We're going to work across the top, bringing it down. We can leave some cloud areas, getting paler as we come down. Now we can work into some of those cloud areas. We're going to use Payne's grey and the alizarin crimson. The alizarin crimson is just to take the starkness off the Payne's grey and to give us a nice colour on that. Now the main thing is that we work with fairly thick paint now, and we use the water that's on the paper already, so that that acts as the water on the paintbrush. So we'll just mix up a nice cloud colour with thick paint, very little water on the brush. That's the main thing to work out when using a hake, and we'll come in now putting in some clouds. Going smaller as they go towards the horizon. Put some up here, I think. Bring them into there. Now while that's still damp, just slightly wet the brush again and take most of the wet out of the brush and put another coat in on some of these just to thicken it up a little bit. Now, as you can see, all the paint, because it's going on thicker, isn't just disappearing into the wet paper. Now we're going to let that dry before we do anything else with the hake, and we'll be putting in a line of mountains across here. We can put some water in and then just a basic foreground. But this is just to show that the hake brush can be used fairly quickly and it's just a matter of not over wetting, but using it with an adequate amount of water, but making sure that we don't over wet, because the brush will hold a lot of water. See you in a minute.